All right, let's jump right in. What if we could build an entire economy based not on, I don't know, stuff or even data, but on meaning itself? Seriously, what if we could actually put a price tag on clarity? It's a pretty wild idea, I know, but we're going to break down exactly how it might just work. So, everything we're about to get into really starts with this one simple, but honestly, super powerful idea. Just think about it for a second. We are absolutely drowning in information, right? But actual true meaning? That feels like it's harder to find than ever. It's really the central paradox of our time. Okay, so picture this. Every single post, every article, every little data point. It's like a digital token. And we are churning out trillions of these things every single day. But here's the kicker. Only a tiny, tiny fraction of them ever actually get distilled down into a real insight. Something that actually makes us smarter. So we've got more information than ever before in human history, and yet, somehow, we feel more confused than ever. How does that work? And that brings us right to the core problem we're talking about today, the great economic challenge of our era. It's not a lack of stuff, it's not a lack of capital, it's a scarcity of meaning. I mean, when data is basically infinite, the only thing left that's truly rare, and because it's rare, it's valuable, is genuine understanding. So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If all the real value is buried under these mountains of digital noise, how in the world do we dig it out? How can we possibly build a system that rewards the signal and not all the chaos? Well, that's exactly where this next idea comes into play. So what if we could introduce a totally new force into our information ecosystem? Yeah, like a kind of gravity. But instead of pulling together physical objects, this gravity would pull value towards ideas that are actually true and meaningful. It'd be a force that brings order to all that chaos. Okay, so the name for this whole theoretical system is Codatta, and the key concept, the one you really gotta latch onto, is this idea of economic gravity. Just imagine that verified meaning, something that we know is true, is like a really dense, heavy object. Codatta is designed so that economic value, we're talking real financial yield, gets naturally pulled towards that dense, heavy meaning. And in the process, it separates it from all the lightweight, totally valueless noise around it. It's a fundamental shift in what our economy would even value. So you're probably asking, okay, but how would this actually work in practice? Well, it's basically a three-step process. Step one, creating information. That pretty much stays the same. But step two is the real game changer here. That's verifying its meaning. And this could be anything, from peer reviewing scientific data to a community fact-checking a news story until everyone agrees. And only after that verification does step three kick in. Value is created. You actually earn a yield for contributing to understanding. So the whole incentive structure flips on its head. It's not about just shouting into the void anymore. It's about actually making things clear. Now, to really get your head around how this works, there's this fantastic metaphor that connects it all to one of the oldest ideas in economics. It's called the hand of epistemology. And hey, don't let that word epistemology scare you off. It's just a fancy way of talking about how we know what we know. Simple as that. So we've all heard of Adam Smith's invisible hand, right? The idea that it guides markets toward efficiency. Well, this invisible hand of epistemology works in a really similar way, but its goal isn't efficiency. Its goal is clarity. So instead of a bunch of people acting in their own self-interest, accidentally creating an efficient market, here, a bunch of people collectively searching for meaning ends up guiding the whole system to reward clarity. It's a really cool parallel. And this right here is the crucial point. This isn't just about filtering out some fake news or finding better facts. No. This is about restructuring our entire information economy. We're talking about building a system from the ground up where clarity isn't just some nice-to-have virtue. It's a straight-up profitable asset. And this is where it all leads. This is the truly mind-bending implication of everything we've been talking about. Because if you can actually build a system that rewards clarity, well, that means you can effectively put a price on it. You can start pricing comprehension itself. Let's just take a step back and think about how markets have evolved. In the past, economies were really built on pricing human labor. Then, in our present day, they're mostly built on pricing capital. Well, this whole framework suggests we're standing on the edge of the next massive leap forward, a future where the economy will be built on pricing comprehension, the actual act of understanding something. Just let that sink in for a minute. Think about what that really means. It means your ability to understand something, to synthesize information, to explain it clearly. Your ability to create clarity from chaos. that is on its way to becoming the next great commodity. It really is the diamond in the rough of our crazy information age. And so that leaves us with one last kind of provocative question to chew on. If clarity has a price and if it generates real value, then it has to follow that all the noise out there must have a cost, right? So in a world that finally figures out how to price comprehension, what do you think is the real hidden cost of all that noise?